Ah, sequels. Hollywood loves them, fans demand them, and studios, well, they'll squeeze every last dollar out of them until the franchise dies in a flaming heap of CGI and bad writing. But not all sequels are cash grabs. Some are, I dare say, masterpieces. Today, we're diving into the top 10 best movie sequels according to Rotten Tomatoes scores. Because if there's one thing we can trust on the internet, it's a website where people argue over a percentage next to a movie title. Number 10. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, 91%. The sequel that outdid the original? You betcha. T2 took everything great about the Terminator and cranked it up to 11. More action, more explosions, more Arnold saying, "Hasta la vista, baby," like a total boss. And the T-1000? Still one of the most terrifying villains in sci-fi history. James Cameron directed this like he had a time machine to steal future blockbusters and bring them back to 1991. Number 9. Spider-Man 2, 93%. Before the MCU, before the Spider-Verse, before Tom Holland was old enough to legally drive, there was Spider-Man Part 2. This movie gave us Tobey Maguire's best Spidey performance, one of the greatest comic book villains ever, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, obviously, and the iconic train fight scene, aka the moment cinema peaked. Sam Raimi balanced action, humor, and existential crisis better than most modern superhero films, proving that sometimes great power comes with great responsibility and great sequels. Number 8. Logan, 93%. Logan is the movie that proved comic book films could be Shakespeare if Shakespeare had R-rated violence and a cranky Hugh Jackman dropping F-bombs. This X-Men swan song gave us a gritty, brutal, and emotionally devastating farewell to Wolverine. Patrick Stewart's Professor X was old, fragile, and somehow still cooler than half the MCU. And Daphne King's Laura, certified scene stealer. It's like The Last of Us, but with more adamantium claws and less Pedro Pascal. Number 7. Avengers Endgame, 94%. How do you end a 22-film saga without disappointing millions of people? Well, you make Avengers Endgame. The time heist, the portal scene, Captain America wielding Mjolnir, every moment was crafted to melt fans' faces with sheer hype. It wasn't just a movie, it was an event. The kind of film that made packed theaters feel like sports arenas. Also, shout out to Fat Thor for making dad bods cool again. Number 6. Before Sunset, 94%. Romance sequels? Aren't those just Hallmark Christmas movies in disguise? Normally, yes, but Before Sunset is different. This Linklater directed follow-up to Before Sunset is 90 minutes of pure, uninterrupted conversation between Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Yet, somehow, it's more gripping than half the action movies released today. No explosions, no CGI, just two people talking, and it's absolute magic. Number 5. The Dark Knight, 94%. Did you think I would leave out The Dark Knight? That's illegal in 37 states. This isn't just a sequel, it's a crime thriller disguised as a Batman movie. Heath Ledger's Joker redefined movie villains. Christian Bale's Batman perfected the angry whisper voice, and Christopher Nolan made a comic book film that felt like Heat meets Shakespeare. It's so good, people still refuse to accept that The Dark Knight Rises actually happened. Number 4. The Godfather Part 2, 96%. You knew this was coming. Francis Ford Coppola pulled off the impossible, a sequel that equals or even surpasses one of the greatest films ever made. This was a Shakespearean epic that gave us Al Pacino's Michael Corleone descending into full villain mode, Robert De Niro's incredible young Vito Corleone backstory, and of course, an ending so chilling it makes you rethink family gatherings. It's not just one of the best sequels of all time, it's one of the best movies ever made, period. Number 3. Mad Max Fury Road, 97%. A 2-hour car chase, a post-apocalyptic fever dream, a movie that had more practical effects than CGI. This is how you do action. George Miller returned to the Mad Max franchise after 30 years and somehow made it one of the greatest action films of all time. Tom Hardy was grunty and mysterious, Charlize Theron stole the entire show as Furiosa, and let's not forget the guitar guy with the flamethrower, Immortan Joe's creepy mask, and the best car stunts ever put on film. Witness me, indeed. Number 2, Toy Story 3, 98%. It's 2010. Pixar looks at its Toy Story trilogy and says, you know what this needs? A movie that emotionally destroys adults in their 30s. Toy Story 3 wasn't just a sequel. It was a spiritual gut punch that had grown men subbing into their popcorn. Woody, Buzz, and the gang faced their darkest hour yet, almost meeting their doom in a literal fiery inferno of childhood trauma, before giving us the most bittersweet ending imaginable. You ever want to know what heartbreak feels like? Watch Andy give away Woody. That moment hit harder than a Pixar lamp to the face. That's for sure. Number 1, Paddington 2, 99%. If you told me in 2017 that a sequel about a polite British bear in a duffel coat would be one of the best reviewed movies ever, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are. Paddington 2 is so charming, so wholesome, so pure, that it even made the hardest of cynics believe in goodness again. Hugh Grant gives the performance of his life as a narcissistic has-been actor, so basically playing himself, and the prison subplot, brilliant. Paddington 2 is what happens when a movie is made with love, heart, and a complete lack of cynicism. And that's why it's a masterpiece. So there you have it, 10 sequels that actually proved Hollywood doesn't always ruin everything. Which ones did we miss? Which ones do you agree with? Drop a comment below, but please be nice. Otherwise, we'll send a T-1000 after you. Also, if you like what you just watched, please do like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, go see a great movie. Peace.